When we hear about Iran in the news, one word always appears: freedom. This story sounds simple. Brave people want freedom. A strict government stops them. The world reacts. But Iran is not just a country fighting over rights. Iran is one of the most important energy countries in the world. And when oil and power mix with politics, the story is never simple. So, what is really happening? True fight for freedom? Or is this another oil game played by powerful countries? To understand that, we need to slow down and look at everything, not just headlines. Let's begin with the people. Life in Iran has become harder over the past years. Prices for food and rent have increased. The currency have lost value. Savings have disappeared from families. Young people study hard, graduate, and then struggle to find jobs. Many feel that their voices are not heard in politics. When protests began growing stronger, they were not only about one law or one event. They were about frustration they had been building for years. The women, life, freedom movement became very powerful. It was about dignity. It was about the right to choose. It was about wanting a normal life like young people in other parts of the world. Human rights organizations like Amnesty International have reported serious crackdowns. Security forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, have been involved in controlling protests. There have been many people arrested. There have been internet shutdowns. There have been reports of violence. Families worry when their children go to protest. Parents fear a phone call in the middle of the night. This is not a movie. This is real life for many Iranians. Why Iran is so important globally? Now let's step back and look at the map. Iran is not just a small country with no global impact. It holds some of the largest oil and natural gas reserves in the world. Oil is not just something we put in cars. Oil power factories. Oil moves ships and airplanes. Oil affects electricity production. Oil influences global prices of goods. When oil supply changes, the entire world feels it. Iran also sits next to the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the most important oil routes on earth. A large percentage of the world oil passes through this small area. If tensions rises there, oil prices can rise within hours. That means higher fuel prices in Europe, higher transport costs in Asia, higher inflation in America. This is why countries like the United States pay very close attention to Iran. Not only because of human rights, but because energy equals power. Energy equals influence. Energy equals security. When a country controls important energy routes, it becomes strategically powerful. To really understand the distrust between Iran and the West, we need to go back in time. In 1953, Iran had a prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. He believed Iran's oil should belong to Iran's people. At the same time, foreign companies controlled much of the Iran oil profits. So the prime minister nationalized the oil industry. Soon after, he was removed from power in a coup. That coup was supported by United States and United Kingdom. At the time, the reason given was Cold War politics, but oil was a major factor. This event changed how many Iranians view foreign involvement forever. When Western leaders speak about democracy today, some Iranians remember 1953. They remember that outside powers once removed their elected leader. Today, Iran is involved in serious international tensions. There are disagreements over its nuclear program. There are heavy economic sanctions. Many of these sanctions directly target oil exports. There are also regional tensions with countries like Israel. Iran is a member of OPEC, which helps influence how much oil is produced globally. This means Iran is not just a domestic political issue. It is a part of a global energy and security system. When Western leaders say they support Iranian protesters, they may genuinely care about rights and freedoms. But governments also calculate risk and benefits. If leadership changes in Iran, what happens to oil supply? What happens to regional alliances? What happens to nuclear negotiations? What happens to military balance? Government rarely act based on one reason. Human rights and national interest can move together. So here is the difficult truth. The protests are real. The economic suffering is real. The desire for freedom is real. But Iran's strategic importance is also real. Its oil reserves are real. Its location is real. Its power in the region is real. It is possible that Iranian people want genuine change. At the same time, global power sees strategic opportunity. These ideas are not opposite. They can exist together. This is what makes the situation complex. It is not a simple good versus evil story. It is not purely a freedom revolution. It is not purely an oil conspiracy. It's a mixture of human emotion and global strategy. In the end, powerful leaders sit in offices and make decisions. They talk about security, they talk about stability, they talk about freedom. Markets respond, oil prices move, new cycles shift. But ordinary Iranian families live with these results. Parents worry about safety. Workers worry about feeding their families. So the next time you hear the praise freedom for Iran, don't dismiss it. But don't accept it without thinking either.